Hi there, welcome to the archives. So, I finished recording all of the 50 goddesses. What I'm going to move into is like a summary and some common themes across the different cultures of the different religions and spiritualities of the world. And then I'm going to go through and name all 50 again one last time. So, I thought this video, what I could do was it's Sunday. Today's August 9th. I'm going to post this later because there's a few more videos before I even get to this one. But as I prepare to talk about the summary of this, I was trying to figure out majority of the places in here, a lot of people have converted, right? Across the globe, a lot of people don't actually practice these religions. I saw somebody recently saying that African traditional religions is like 5th or 6th in the world. This book actually tells you some of the order of, so remember there's an index at the end. So if you're looking for specific themes, an index is like what helps you to find the information right away, right? Think of it as like right now you go to Google or Ecosia or whatever search engine or your ChatGPT or AI, you put in something and it pulls it up. An index is what that used to be. You'd be like, oh, I don't know, where can I find Amaterasu in here? Instead of having to go through all of it, you just go to the index, you look for the person or the thing you're looking for, and it'll tell you what page it's on. I don't know if they're teaching you this in school anymore, but I am an educator, so I just wanted to share that. This book has an index, okay? An index helps you to, like, right away, it's a shortcut to get to something you're looking for without having to scan the whole book. Let's say you want to look, Oshun. I want to find out about Oshun, but I don't want to go through this whole book. Can you tell me, hey, index, can you tell me where Oshun is? Oh, Oshun, you will find Oshun on page 94 and 95. Thanks, index. Let's go look at page 94 and 95. 94, 95. Oh, there's Oshun on page 94 and 95. Okay, before the internet, we had the index. We also have, is it a thesaurus? A glossary. A glossary is like a quick, well, it would be like a short definitions of words. It's a little mini dictionary. Consider it like a mini dictionary. A glossary is where you will find words. Let's say pagan. This girl keeps saying pagan like we know what pagan is. What is pagan? Oh, well, look, the book has a glossary with the definition of pagan on page 109. A pagan is a person holding religious beliefs that are based on a deep respect for nature. Oh, that's all a pagan is? They just respect nature? I thought a pagan was a witch. Oh. Pagan religions include ancient indigenous belief systems as well as modern pagan communities. Oh, thanks, glossary. You see how we used to do it back in the day? Please bring that back. So there's a glossary, which basically gives you different definitions of different words. So what are some words I've used that people don't understand? Norse. I just, one of the videos I'm going to post, I was editing today, was Hel. She's a Norse goddess of the underworld. I didn't know what I was talking about in the video, but if I had just gone to the glossary would have said Norse, referring to Norway specifically, but also the Scandinavian religion, language, and culture of the medieval period. Oh, that's what Norse is, which technically I wasn't wrong, because the last country I said was Norway. Right? That should have been the first one because that's the one. I think I said Finland, that's wrong. Sweden technically, and Denmark technically, but it's Norway, right? Norse. If I had just gone to the glossary, I would have known that that's what Norse is, rather than being like, I don't know. Okay, well, if you don't know, look it up, right? This is where curiosity is a good thing. I don't know the answer. Well, because now you don't have to always go to AI. You don't always have to go to the computer. You could just pull up an old dictionary. So these are some of the words. Underworld, the mythical land of the dead, often thought to be beneath the earth. Okay? It even gives you a definition of slavery. An enslaved person was considered property that could be bought, sold, or owned. Slavic, people of Eastern Europe and Russia who speak a collection of related languages. What is a patron saint? A protective or guiding individual for a group or a place. Okay, so here it also gives you definitions of Buddhism, which is founded in the 5th century BC. Indian Gautama Buddha. It spread across Asia to become the world's 4th largest religion, and it means enlightened. So Buddhism is the 4th largest religion. The first is Christianity, if I'm not mistaken. The world's largest religion is Christianity, and it's founded on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Christians believe in one God, and their sacred text is the Bible. So the first major religion is Christianity. The second is Islam. See why Christians are always beefing with Muslims? Because Muslims are like breathing up our neck in terms of popularity and number one. Don't forget that religion is a business, okay? They need your money and the popularity but conspiracy. Islam is the second largest religion, and it's the religion of Muslims. They recognize one God, Allah. Islam was founded by the Arab prophet and leader Muhammad ibn Abdullah. And are you supposed to say, may God protect his soul? What is a Muslim way? And God have mercy on him? Something. It doesn't say that here, but I noticed when Muslims talk about the Prophet Muhammad, they say, may God, and then something. So, and that was in the 7th century. So Christianity, Buddhism was first, right? Buddhism was 5th BC. Islam was 7th century. Christianity doesn't say, but Christianity was when? I don't know. Hinduism is the third. So Hinduism is the 3rd largest religion according to this book. And it's an ancient Indian religion and way of life. Its roots go back many thousands of years, and its 4 goals for human life are Dharma, which is duty, Artha, which is work, Kama, which is passions, and Moksha, which is enlightenment. Remember, Hinduism is one of the oldest religions. It even came before Buddhism. It came before Christianity. It came before Islam. Okay? Hinduism is the 3rd largest religion. And then Judaism is a religion of the Jewish people developed among the ancient Hebrews. Jewish people believe in one God who revealed himself as Abraham, Moses, and the prophets. Okay? But there were other religions before too. What is the Shinto religion? The Shinto religion was developed in Japan in 8th century AD, and Shinto worshippers honor ancestors and nature spirits. They believe that sacred power, kami, flows through all living and non-living things. Okay, it talks about Shaktism. So that's that. And again, what I wanted to talk about is a lot of the places in this book, people have converted to any of these religions, either to Christianity or to Islam. Buddhism is already here because it was ancient. Hinduism was already ancient, but these are some of the different places. Indigenous. What is indigenous? I said indigenous globally. I had years ago, over a decade, when I went back to Toronto for a while, in a writing group, there was a Chinese person who said that people are not indigenous in China. They're not indigenous people. I would say that based on some of these, the pagan, right? The deep respect for nature, which is across all indigenous cultures, I would say Chinese people are indigenous to China and they have indigenous practices and or beliefs. But I'm not Chinese, so that's not my conversation. That they were Chinese and they said Chinese people are not indigenous. Okay, yeah, fair. Are Arabs indigenous? Well, Palestinians consider themselves indigenous. Do Iranians consider? But again, yes, based on this, they were practicing paganism, which again is just a deep respect for the earth, for nature. Okay? So indigenous is a person, plant, or object that originates in a particular place, as in native to this place. Chinese people are indigenous, or maybe not, right? Maybe they spread across different places. Remember Vietnam, the Trung sisters? China's in their story. And so people also migrate. Same with Africa. There's a lot of different migrations. So basically, how do you define indigenous? What is indigenous? So United Nations has a definition of what indigenous people are across the world. I live in Turtle Island, Canada, and here indigenous folks are native to this land, right? Native indigenous folks, Métis folks, they originate from this land where I am. I am indigenous to my land, to the Akan and the Ashanti people of Ghana, right? That is where my indigenous contacts, my indigeneity lies and has roots on those lands, the Akan lands in Kumasi, which is where I was born and from, right? So this is why some people may call themselves indigenous but might not be native to North America or Turtle Island, okay? And because a lot of us are not indigenous, we don't call ourselves. I've seen Nigerians say they're not indigenous, and I'm just like, how are you not indigenous? You're indigenous maybe not to Canada, but you're indigenous to Nigerland. No, right? And so going back, I wanted to pull up. I'm going to end with the Bible because this is where a lot of people learn that it's demonic. This is where a lot of people learn that these practices are wrong, right? So I asked God to show me what would be a good Bible verse to share with people to show exactly the impacts of why you shouldn't dabble in this if you're a Christian. So this is, what reading this, what it taught me as somebody who studies emotions is, this is where they use fear to kind of make us afraid. There's some shame going on here. There's some guilt going on here, right? So pay attention to the emotions and how that might inform us and make us really afraid of this. And again, it kind of confirms my idea that Christianity rose and was a response to this. And you see it here. Do not do the ways of your fathers. Your forefathers. So what were your fathers' ways? These were their foremothers and their forefathers' ways that the Bible says you should not do. The Bible was a direct response to this. This is why a lot of Christians cannot get down with any of this, because their book says no. But all of this, 50 plus, was here before this. Okay? So if you are a Christian, and if you're looking for a place that says, like, this is where, I'm part of, anyways, somebody recently said that their pastor told them that it's satanic, right? Meditation was satanic. Well, probably because it's associated with Buddhism, and they see Buddhism as satanic, right? Same with traditional African religion. One of my questions that I posed in a previous video was how come Europeans are not seen as satanic and demonic in the same way as Black people? Because you have Norway, we've heard about Sweden, Finland, the Nordic countries, the Scandinavian countries, Italy stays coming up in this, Rome. The Greek keeps coming up in this, Turkey, where else, right? Ireland, Scotland, England, all of these places in Europe are coming up in these books, meaning that Europeans were also pagans. They had respect for the land and nature, and they had to be cut off. What cut them off? What cut off a vast majority of us from nature? And if a lot of Christians don't like nature, they don't go into forests, they're afraid of the forests. They don't like water. They don't sit by the water. The ocean is demonic. Ocean animals are demonic. Nature, we've been cut off from nature. So I'm going to read Ezekiel 18, all the way down to 26. Okay, so Ezekiel 18. And I said to their children in the wilderness, do not walk in the statutes of your fathers, nor observe your ordinances, nor defile yourselves with their idols, the false idols, those statues, those demonic, satanic, right? I, the Lord, am your God. Walk in my statutes. So my statutes are okay. And be careful to observe my ordinances. Be careful. I'm warning you. Be careful. and hallow my Sabbaths, that they may be assigned between me and you, that you may know that I am Lord. I, the Lord, am your God. I am your God. Not this Buddha. Not this Muhammad. This Moses. Moses can come, but Moses is not your God. Even Jesus, no cry. Oh, no. I am your God. I own you. And so, but the children rebelled against me. They've been here before. What happened when they rebelled against me? Well, so now we're being told what happened to them. Where is it? They did not walk in my statutes, and were not careful to observe my ordinances, by whose observance man shall live. They profaned my Sabbath. How dare you insult God? Then I thought I would pour out my wrath upon them and spend my anger against them in the wilderness. Oh, we have retaliation. So it is a vengeful God. Oh my gosh. If you go and dabble in this book, you will feel God's wrath. If you go and even peep into this book, you will feel God's anger. You better not go. Why would you go? You see how they keep people locked in? Fear. But I withheld my hand, and acted for the sake of my name, that it should not be profaned in the sight of the nations in whose sight I had brought them out. Moreover, I swore to them in the wilderness that I would scatter them among the nations, disperse them through the countries, because they had not executed my ordinances. But they had rejected my statutes and profaned my Sabbaths, and their eyes were set on their fathers. Their fathers is idols. You see a lot of this fear right now. Don't go down that path. Don't go into the old ways. This is why Africans hate ourselves. Africans hate ourselves because of this right here. Do not do the ways of your fathers. They were demons. They were satanic. They believed in worshiping women and goddesses. Why would you see the propaganda play, or no? It's still not clear to you? Okay. So do not set their eyes on their fathers' idols. Moreover, I gave them statutes that were not good, and ordinances by which they could not have life. And I defiled them through their gifts in making them offer by fire all their firstborns. Remember, this is where we went into this. I would be doomed as a firstborn daughter. That I might horrify them. I did it that they may know that I am Lord. And this is where a lot of us were raised. I beat you. I did this thing. I betrayed you. I didn't tell you the truth. I lied to you because I love you. Don't you know that this is I love you is why I horrified you. That I might horrify them. I did that. That they might know that I am the Lord. So, listen. Dabble into this at your own risk. If you want to go to hell, that's what the Christians will say. This is what a lot of Muslims will say. A lot of Jewish folks. Some Jewish folks. Although we have Jewish folks in here. Remember, Lilith is in here. The Virgin Mary is in here. She was Jewish. Right? So, I'm going to end this here. But I'll be back to just name all 50 of them, where they are from across the world, and some of the common themes from around the world that unite us, even though they're all also very drastically different. Okay? I'm going to take this out. I'm not wearing all of these rings. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, bye. Until next time, in solidarity.